I watched an interview with Vice President Kamala Harris, currently Vice President Kamala Harris, supposed to be presidential nominee endorsed by Joe Biden, who is really the current president, who was basically removed from his position because of health issues. But technically he still is the president. But I watched an interview with Kamala Harris on Fox News with Bret Baier, and boy did he grill her, and boy did she fail the interview. I mean, cordially fail that interview. And if that was not obvious to everyone that watched that interview, that was indicative of a very inept, unprepared, ignorant, illiterate presidential candidate. Former President Trump was absolutely positively correct about her being incapable of being a president, without a doubt. She lied her behind off, and I'm being very nice. She detracted, she avoided the major questions that were asked of her, and it was so obvious. She turned away. It was embarrassing. And I'm not a fan of hers, but I was embarrassed for her, and I'm not a fan of hers. I'm embarrassed at the fact that the woman is even in the position that she's in. And the man asked her, the interviewer asked her, why haven't you done what you're talking about, what you're going to do if you become the president? Why haven't you done it in the 3.5 years that you've been in office, you and Joe Biden already? You're talking about opening up a new chapter. Said, why haven't you done this in 3.5 years already? And she had this blank look, and she got stuck for words. She couldn't answer the question. She kept trying to divert back to Donald Trump and how he's talking negative and down, and we don't need this type of rhetoric. It's plain to see, as Bret said, the American people, especially in the swing states, are all pointing towards Donald Trump, because he has a clear vision for what he wants to do for America, making America great again, like he said. She has not pointed out any plans whatsoever. All she's talking about, well, certain individuals in the Republican Party have sided with her and so forth. But what's her plan? She has not pointed out anything whatsoever. Now, it's interesting to me. 2-3 months ago, no one knew who Kamala Harris was. Didn't know who she was, other than the fact we knew that she was the Vice President of the United States, but she was in the background. During the first debate with Donald Trump and Joe Biden, Donald Trump clearly won that debate. Joe Biden was massacred in that debate because it was very obvious that he has dementia. Okay? And to save grace, the Democratic Party had to insert somebody in there so they wouldn't just totally blow it. So they stuck Kamala in there to save grace, so to speak. And it was a coup. They pushed Biden out against his wills. They made it seem to the American people that President Joe Biden relinquished his position willingly. And that's a lie. They pushed him out of his position. They forced him out. They made him leave that position because of his cognitive decline. It was a coup, and they inserted Kamala Harris, someone that the American people did not recognize, did not know. And they built her up, they propped her up, and all of a sudden, a woman whose approval rating at the time was about 27%. She's now neck and neck with Donald Trump within 2 to 3 months. Unprecedented, unheard of. Nobody knows her still. How can that happen? In 2 to 3 months, the man, former President Donald Trump, who was beating President Joe Biden, all of a sudden Kamala Harris is neck and neck with him and up a few percentage points. It doesn't happen like that, ladies and gentlemen. Can you say cheating? Can you say deep state? Now let me tell you also, and I've mentioned this before, when the gentleman not too long ago who was killed by a Secret Service agent for attempting to kill President Donald Trump, the one that the Secret Service agent killed, they did not show President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris didn't show any empathy. Donald Trump didn't have the security that he needed, ample security from the Secret Service as he should have had. And then the second possible attempt, that guy that they caught, all they said was, both of them, Kamala and Joe Biden, we will not tolerate political violence. No empathy whatsoever. And did not go overboard to try to trump up, no pun intended, trump up Donald Trump's Secret Service protection. Still didn't. They didn't care. As a matter of fact, if Donald Trump died tomorrow, they wouldn't care because they are part of that conspiracy. Both of them. They want him out of the picture so that they can continue on with their agenda. You know what that is, right? They want to take over. So now, back to Kamala Harris in the interview again. She's a liar. Now I'm going to say this. All politicians lie. Every last one of them. Let's make this perfectly clear. Now while I'm on the topic of lying politicians, understand this as well. Even Donald Trump lies. But guess what? Who's the best candidate for our country? Donald Trump or Kamala? Would you prefer Kamala or lying Kamala Harris over Donald Trump as far as the protection of this country? Hello? When Donald Trump was in office, we did not have any wars going on in any other country. They did not exist. under this present regime, Kamala Harris and Biden's particular reign, if you will, we've got 2 wars and almost a third world war going on right now under this administration. Didn't happen during Donald Trump's administration. Now, our economy under Donald Trump was much, much better. It was. Let's be honest. What are we going to get if Kamala wins? Honestly, the same thing that we have right now. A poor economy, which is what we have right now. It's not flourishing. Now, every working man and woman right now, especially if you're on the bottom to the middle, you already know. It's terrible. It's nothing good about it right now. The prices are through the roof. Period. Think about this. Let that marinate in your mind for a moment. That was all I had to say. Think about it. That was the fiasco, that interview.